Oh man, what's going on, New Game Order? I don't have my shades today. It is what it is. Doing lunchtime TV. Little break before as I go to the mall and get something to eat. But I did want to kind of share something. I had a discussion on the New Game Order Discord earlier. And shout out to Mike Patron, aka Project Justice. I guess I had to, I'm a creature of habit. And, oftentimes, and that's my brother. I love him to death. The gentle giant, as I call him. And, we were having, we debate a lot. Like, there's things that we don't see eye to eye on. Like, we consume content a little differently. There's different views, ideologies, core values, belief, things like that. But at the end of the day, what our commonality is the fact that we like fighters, we like certain pop culture things, and with that, it's kind of like a mesh or a lump of different debates. Like I wasn't a big fan of Street Fighter V, but he is. I express that I'm not. Street Fighter V wasn't it for me. I played it mainly, honestly, for the story, and just to see where characters are going, how they're evolving, their motivations and stuff. That's just how I have always been, because me and Shinra came up in the comic book era where, a lot of times for me, I didn't have the luxury, and growing up in a very strict Haitian household, my parents wouldn't let me watch TV for 9 months out of the year. So one thing they did let us do was we would go to like Caldor when they were open, or Kmart, and then you see like an X-Men comic, and they're like, "Oh, you going to read? Okay, yes, I get you this. You get to read." So yeah, I mean, for me, story, it's important to me, because for the longest time, that's all I had. And when I see that, in fighters and whatnot, it keeps me engaged, if that makes any sense, right? So, yeah, we were debating about story, this and that, and then this is where the whole Testament thing comes into play. Now, I'm going to be very careful in how I respond to this, but for me, I was a fan of Testament. Testament was in my staple of characters that I used when me and Arnie Nees used to have fierce battles in Guilty Gear Reloaded, and so on and so forth. Like, yeah, we had some legendary battles in that game. And Testament, the style of play, the whole gothic look, kind of like, for me, I had always described Testament as like a dark goth, like a gothic character that was like the Crow and Marilyn Manson did the fusion dance type thing, the art style and the design of the character from Guilty Gear Missing Link, because I'm a day one Guilty Gear guy. Like I had the import, or had a PlayStation that was able to play the import. I remember reading about like the character in Testament was cool because it reminded me of the Grim Reaper or like Death from Castlevania. I'm like, yeah, I like that, like Testament had like an inverted Alucard look. Like those of you who watched I guess the Castlevania series on Netflix, you see that look. Like Alucard, it's not like effeminate, but it has that Vega, Street Fighter Vega, Claw look and vibe, right? And I guess what sparked my thought process, or even the motivation to do the video, was the fact that Testament had a following. If as far as I was concerned, really cool character. I like that goth Gothic look, the Grim Reaper look type thing. You know, I thought it was really cool. It made an impression. And I was just like, man, if Guardian Heroes and Castlevania fused together, you would see characters like that in like a fighting game or whatever. But in any case, the newest reveal and drastic redesign of the character was jarring. It's hard to say. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I feel that the character's design felt forced in terms of, you know, I don't know if there's agendas being put out, or you know, again, I'm being extremely careful and walking on thin ice, or the tightrope, if you want to call it that. But I felt that it was unnecessary to go that far with the change in the character without a reason. Like, you know, Testament was missing from Guilty Gear for a while. I think that yeah, they're like, how come Testament wasn't here? You know, Reloaded, or was a Rev, and so on and so forth. Like, there was a couple titles, the character wasn't present. And then you know, when the excitement, they're like, you know, oh, Testament's coming back. Okay, yeah, but let's rock. And then, like, whoa, something is changed here. I am part of the camp that is a fan of the old look, the old presentation, the old design, because I thought that was cool. I don't know. Sorry about that, folks. But yeah, I was a fan of that look because the Brandon Lee-esque style to it and what have you. So yeah, now from what I see, I don't hate the look, but I think that maybe for a story explanation, because now there's like, okay, all of a sudden the character is all non-binary and was always like that. It's just like some of the people who had the argument with The Last of Us in the DLC in someone's preference. All of a sudden, there was no hints of it before, and then all of a sudden, now you're throwing that in there. And again, have no issues with lifestyles or whatever. I think that what folks need to realize, like, if you're gonna go and change a character, they have to know people who are in support. You know, there's going to be a rough adjustment to that. Yeah, again, it shocked people. We're like, what? Like, now you got others who are like, yeah, I'm all for it. Yeah. I'm like, okay, you know, to each their own. And you can't tell people like what they like is wrong, because again, they're accepting of it. That's fine. I think that they lack the sensitivity, not even sensitivity, the understanding to know that, yeah, this was a beloved character, and you know, people are responding because they like the character, they cared about the character, so on and so forth. The better we get at understanding why people are having a reaction, the better our communication, and saying, okay, well, we understand that you're not happy with this. This is the choice they made. You know, maybe, you know, just to understand, like, some aren't happy with it. My initial reaction was a little stronger, but, you know, I'm of mature thought, and I'm just like, all right, you know, they did this. I'm not a fan of it, but maybe if there was an explanation that maybe, let's say Testament had a kid or something, or this is his daughter or something or whatnot, that would have been like no issue, you know, like taking established characters and doing things like this. Yeah, you've seen this with you know, the Superman comics and John Kent, and all of a sudden That's again. I'm trying to be, because I don't want to give the perception that I'm anti anything. That is not the case. Because you have characters who do the transition thing, or but they're presented like that. For instance, you have Benimaru from King of Fighters. If those of you who don't know, this character is known to be in a lifestyle per se, and it's an interesting story between like Vice, if I remember correctly, and my boy Rich, he's in our Discord now. We were talking about this years ago, that Benimaru broke Vice's back over jealousy with Iori or something. Like, it was weird. And I found that to be interesting. But Benimaru was always, or Benimaru, however, the way the character was presented was always like that. No issues. But I had a charged discussion with free play mode, where I said, okay, we can't change what we can't change. But if they were to take Ken or Ryu or certain characters and start putting that stuff in there, or all of a sudden swapping things out, or have Ken, go down this redesign, or oh, I'm gonna do this, somebody's gonna be pissed off. They're like, why would they need to do that? That kind of thing, But at the end of the day, change is inevitable. Folks are gonna, in control of the content we like. They're gonna make changes that we like, and some we don't. Me per se, I don't know. I like Testament as it was designed before, and I feel that forcing inclusion, forcing an issue, is going to make people not want to be accepting. And I'm not saying I'm not that, but I'm speaking for, in general, that it could have been not the Testament we know. Maybe, like, again, Testament's offspring, a relative, or something. I don't know. I just feel that it wasn't necessary. It wasn't necessary. Let them do that to Ryu or Ken, and let's have that same argument or same discussion. The character was already established. Maybe in the story they'll explain what happened or why the character has adopted the look. Again, if Testament was always presented that way in the beginning, well, there's no argument. But it was one way, and then it's just like you take a sharp right turn or a sharp left turn. And again, I don't want to be like that unreasonable critic, but I feel that should have been taken into account. Maybe technology back then couldn't express, because it was 2D sprites before, up until XR, right? Now they can do things and push the envelope a little bit. So yeah, my 2 cents is I think that this could have been executed differently, and maybe another character that is of this, of the lifestyle of being non-binary or transition or whatnot, could have been presented as that and not have an issue, But again, my disclaimer here is I'm not judgmental of anybody's lifestyle or preferences or what have you. I believe we're all God's children, whether you agree or disagree with choices and preferences. I'm not one to judge, and some people's opinions, well, me saying that might irritate some people, but I just feel that they have to understand why some people are upset. It's split, and with the whole argument with Poison and being non-ambiguous and whatnot, it draws attention. It's polarizing, and yeah, it's a very sensitive, very touchy subject, and my goal here is just to express my particular reaction to it. It was unnecessary. It could have been a new version of the character instead of taking something established and then terraforming it and trying to, oh, hey, I want you to like this. You know? Again, I'm of mature thought, older man now, where it's just like, let me analyze. But the ones who are just like, oh, shut up and take it type, you're being confrontational, and you're technically putting yourselves in the wrong. In terms when it's like, hey, who, you know, on different sides of the argument. Some of the stuff that I've been seeing in the comments, you know, they're just like, oh yeah, we're accepting. Hey, there's nothing. Look, it is what it is. But yeah, don't have to be so confrontational for those who are in support of the design change, because I'm seeing some stuff that is a little bit too toxic. Hey, some people may come after me for saying what I'm saying, but you know, let me know what you think. I want to gauge something and maybe open a line of discussion on the Discord, or do another show live for this. But this has been the Man, the Myth, the Juggernaut. Make sure you rate, comment, subscribe, hit that like button. It goes a long way. I'm gonna get some lunch. I'll see y'all later.